Hi everyone, I'm Alicia Toot from a music blog, Yeah, and I would like to welcome everyone to our interview with Kongos. How are you all doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thanks for asking. So last time we spoke, we briefly discussed your new album, Lunatics. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. When it came to songwriting on the album, who are your biggest influences or inspirations?
We've been listening to a lot of West African music recently, Tinariwen and Amadou and Miriam, and it might not come out directly in the sound of the album, but it's definitely influenced the kind of a vibe and the sound, and when we get into the studio, experimenting with certain modes and instruments.
Does anyone have anything to add to that, or you all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Beatles, just in terms of songwriting, you can study their catalog and you can learn to write a song just by listening to theirs. So, all the usuals as well, on top of the more obscure influences.
And just growing up together, do you find that you all would actually listen to the same music?
Well, yeah, obviously because we're living in the same house and have the same parents, so we grew up listening to a lot of the same music. But then, as we got to teenagers and started hanging out on our own more, we did each sort of drift in our
own
direction.
Way.
Yeah, like Johnny was big into hip hop, into '90s hip hop, and
Still am.
jungle.
So do you find that had an impact then when you went into the studio and wanted to record? Like, were y'all kind of fighting over your influences and nuances, or were you just, y'all came together somehow in it?
I think it was never a fight because we never wanted the album to sound like one thing. So it actually, all the different stuff we were listening to made it a diverse album, which is what we wanted and we're happy with.
I actually read, though, that you all wrote stuff separately and then would come together, so I guess that helped out.
We'd have a meeting and we'd each present our songs in a presenting case. And then basically we write separately because our egos don't allow us to write together. So, yeah, and producing and all the sounds and production, that's much easier and much more collaborative. Writing, it doesn't quite work together.
Well, the band actually recently announced a massive whack of festivals that are coming up, along with your tour with Kings of Leon and Young the Giant. So that's pretty exciting. It's an amazing lineup. So just as far as festivals to come, what are you looking forward to most?
There's a bunch, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there isn't a festival that we're not looking forward to on that lineup or on that tour. There's Lollapalooza we're really looking forward to because Chicago's a really good town for us. Osheaga, yeah. Sasquatch, I mean, I'll probably just end up listing all of them because we're excited about all of them.
Austin City Limits we just announced yesterday.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Okay. And what are you two both looking forward to?
What they said.
Everything? Okay. And then just while on the road, what are some things that you guys do for fun?
We make terrible puns in the vans, anything to keep ourselves busy. When you have 12 hours in a van with the same people and it's like 5 or 10 smelly guys, you have to find very interesting ways to entertain yourself.
Yeah, it's all really little things. You want to get out and you want to walk around a lot. So we have one of our crew members is a friend of ours, and we play a game where you try to throw water bottles and make them land on their base. And it's actually quite addictive.
I read.
Yeah. Led Zeppelin, like all their crazy, it's the opposite of that. It's like rock and roll. Not really.
Do you have anything funny that's happened to you guys while touring?
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. There was one gig years ago in I think it was San Diego or somewhere where there's this drunk woman, in her middle-aged woman, as a cougar, as they say, and she was photographing Dylan the entire show in front of the stage, just drooling practically, and she kept saying, after the show she came up and she kept saying, "You're going to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. I've shot the cover of Rolling Stone." And she wanted to help us carry our stuff out. She was like, "Can I help you carry your amps to your bus?"
She was really subtle. No, but she was getting Oliver Stone angles, it was like, she's getting really into the cinematography of it. She said she'd shot our next music video for us. It was great. She said she worked with Dave Matola. She mixed up Tom Morello, yeah. Oh, Dave, yeah.
So I wanted to bring up Come With Me Now. I mean, the success of that track, when we spoke about it in our last interview, you said success for yourselves as a band would be just playing show after show and everybody knowing the words, and then the audience is getting bigger and bigger. So
and having the key to every city, and, presiding over different corners of the world. Yeah. Now, I think, what was the question?
I didn't even get to the question yet, but just as far as that goes, I mean, where would your ultimate place to play be, and who would you want to play with you? Because you're talking about success, so if you were getting to that ultimate point, I mean, what would you make of that?
That's difficult to answer. There's too many, but actually, the Kings of Leon Young of the Giant tour, we talked about for a long time. Oh man, it'd be great to tour with Kings of Leon and Young the Giant. We talked about it a bunch, and so it was like we made that bill up in our heads. So
and some of the venues too, like Red Rocks Amphitheater and MGM Grand in Las Vegas and all these other legendary venues.
I've seen Mike Tyson knock out so many people at MGM. I've always wanted to play there. Yeah.
And how about just like dream venues then? Do you have any specific ones there that you've yet to fulfill?
Well, it's hard to top the Soccer City in Johannesburg because it's a famous soccer stadium, and we opened up for Lincoln Park there. So just pretty much if we could do one of those in every major city around the world, it's not asking much, but
soccer stadium tour.
Well, that song's been used in tons of film, and I've also seen it on TV quite a lot of times, especially when you post it out. I'm like, that's amazing, it's been featured in that. So if you could have the track or any of your tracks featured in any TV show or film, which would you like?
I think getting a song in a Coen Brothers movie would be pretty amazing. Usually their music is pretty well tailored to whatever period the movie takes place in, but we're huge fans of theirs, filmmakers.
Anything on HBO, well, not anything, but pretty much anything on HBO.
Scorsese uses music perfectly every time, but he doesn't use anything. They're usually period pieces or something like that, and he doesn't use any modern music. He only uses music that was around up to the time that his movie takes place in. So if he does a modern movie, put one of our songs. Yeah.
Okay, so now we are at the last question of our interview. So we wanted to ask, if you were to take the Ambi crew and all our readers, and we were to come with you now, where would you take us?
To our bedroom.
To your bedroom. You know what? That definitely works as the last answer. So I would just like to say thanks so much to all of you for speaking with us today. And I'm Alicia Toot from Music Vlog, and you just watch our interview with Kongos. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.